All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're exploring a concept that actually bridges ancient mystery schools directly with modern neuroscience. The core premise here, drawn straight from our sources, is that the human body isn't just some physical machine, it's a biological battery. And according to these traditions, this battery is entirely capable of transmuting raw vital energy into immense creative power, wealth, and functional longevity. So we're going to unpack exactly how this internal generator works, and more importantly, how you can actually turn it on.
You know, Napoleon Hill wasn't some mystic, right? He studied the most successful titans of his era. And what he found was that they intuitively understood how to harness this intense internal currency. Our sources point out that visionaries like Nikola Tesla and Steve Jobs tapped into this exact same hidden biological fuel. That's how they were able to bend reality, achieve mastery, and bring entirely new innovations into the world, all without burning out.
But before we get into the heavy biology, I've got a direct challenge for you. Look inward for a second. Test your own leaks, so to speak. Honestly assess your energy levels right this moment. Do you feel electric, like you're capable of tackling absolutely any obstacle? Or do you feel heavy, foggy, like you're dragging a boulder up a hill? Because as the source material points out, most people are driving their bodies like cars with the check engine light glaring, completely numb to the fact that their internal battery is flashing red.
So to understand why we get so drained, we have to look at what the ancient Taoists called Jing. Think of Jing like the wax of a candle. It's your foundational fuel, the biological gold stored within you. If you don't have the wax, you obviously can't sustain a flame, and you certainly aren't going to produce any light. This Jing is the raw material required for literally all physical and creative action.
Part 1. The Great Energy Leak.
Listen, society today is basically engineered to drain our internal battery through massive energy extraction. We've got these 5 modern habits that act literally like holes in a biological bathtub. The blue light from screens totally disrupts your brain's master clock. Eating late forces your liver to digest when it should be regenerating. Emotional chaos just spikes your cortisol. Unconscious sexual release expels your creative fuel without any real intention. And sleeping in ambient light, that absolutely kills your melatonin production. Put them all together, and these 5 leaks drain your creative force before you can ever transmute it into anything useful.
Part 2. The 3 levels of vitality.
Ancient texts actually classify our energetic operation into 3 distinct levels. Most folks, they live entirely on level 1. That's an open circuit where you are depleted, leaking energy everywhere, and frankly, practically invisible to opportunity. Level 2 is accumulation. That's where you plug the leaks, seal the vessel, and finally begin to build a massive internal charge. And then we hit level 3, transmutation. This is where you become a literal generator, overflowing with a magnetic presence that effortlessly pulled opportunities, resources, and ideas right toward you.
And hey, this isn't just ancient philosophy. It's backed up by hard modern data. To put things into perspective, there was a fascinating 2003 study out of Zhejiang University. They measured men who abstained from vital energy release, and what they found was that on day 7, their testosterone, which is the hormone of confidence, risk, and action, spiked to 145.7% of their baseline. It wasn't just a slow, gradual climb. It was a specific biological furnace igniting right on a distinct 7-day manufacturing rhythm.
Now here's something absolutely crucial. While the end goal of coherence is exactly the same for everyone, the mechanics actually differ between men and women. Male energy acts a lot like fire. It needs containment and upward direction. Female energy, on the other hand, acts like water that needs deepening and circulation. And crucially, a woman's biggest energy drain is often not physical release, but emotional giving without return. Saying yes when her body is screaming no. For women, that is the primary leak that needs to be sealed.
Part 3. The Internal Alchemy Protocol.
All right, so how do we actually pull this off? Right at the center of this nighttime protocol is the pineal gland, or what ancient traditions called the mud pill palace. Neuroscience tells us this gland produces melatonin and potentially even trace amounts of DMT. But here's the catch. It only functions optimally in absolute, complete darkness. That transition state right before you fall asleep, that's known as the hypnagogic window. And it's the exact moment this gland acts as a bridge, preparing to pull vital energy from your lower organs right up into higher brain function.
So here is your 15-minute manual to basically reprogram your subconscious mind. First up, seal. You sit in darkness, place your hands on your lower belly, and breathe to just acknowledge your stored energy. Second, instruct. For 3 minutes, I don't want you to visualize. I want you to physically feel the somatic state of your singular goal, as if it's already happened. And finally, surrender.
Lie back in absolute darkness and completely let go. You're handing your nervous system the map right before sleep takes over.
Part 4. Thought 6 Physical Rituals.
But look, inner alchemy is really only half the equation. We've got to tune the physical hardware too. The sources reveal a fascinating parallel here. The ancient Egyptian concept of ma'at, meaning cosmic order and harmony, perfectly mirrors the Japanese concept of wa. Both of these philosophies assert that true physical strength and longevity don't come from brute force. They don't come from tension or fighting against time. They come from flowing with the universe and bringing your physical body into perfect harmonic alignment.
And if you want proof that this philosophy works, just look at the demographics. 90,000. That is the staggering number of centenarians currently living in Japan. We're talking about 90,000 people over 100 years old who actively embody these ancient principles for extreme functional longevity. It totally proves that these gentle, harmonic practices have real-world biological impact.
Let's look at exactly how they achieve this. We have these 6 actionable movements that form a complete system. And get this, they are not designed to exhaust your body with heavy weights. Instead, they're all about lubricating the joints, challenging the central nervous system, and tuning your vibrational frequency so that energy just flows unhindered right through your physical frame.
Take the sage's balance, for example. Just standing on one leg for a single minute forces your brain to instantly process data from your eyes, ears, and muscles to make all these tiny micro-adjustments. I really encourage you to try the sage's balance today. You will literally feel your brain building new neural connections to maintain your center. And studies showed that ability is a stunningly accurate predictor of a long, healthy life.
Then we've got the floor transition. Basically, sitting down and rising back up without using your hands or your knees. This is the ultimate test of functional mobility. This simple transition physically guarantees your independence as you age because it unblocks the energy channels in your spine and proves that your core, your joints, and your motor planning are all perfectly integrated.
Part 5. Activating your inner generator.
Okay, so when you actually seal your leaks, instruct your subconscious, and tune that physical hardware, you hit critical mass. And that brings us to coherence. When your system is fully charged, your bioelectromagnetic field expands. Operating at level 3 means you aren't desperately chasing money, relationships, or success from a place of scarcity. Instead, your expanded, coherent energy field dictates that those opportunities absolutely must chase you. You simply radiate a capacity that the world around you cannot help but reflect back.
So, we're going to wrap up this explainer with a provocative question based on everything our sources laid out today. The tools are right there, they're incredibly simple, but they require a conscious choice. Are you going to remain a depleted, open circuit, just leaking your vital essence into screens and daily stress? Or are you going to take 15 minutes in the dark tonight to seal your vessel, close the loop, and reclaim your sovereign creative power? The choice, as always, is entirely yours.